Joining me today to talk about a Christian ministry app, I have the director of FaithSpark app, Josh Woodcock, joining me. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. So, for those who don't know, first, let's start off. What is the FaithSpark app?
Yeah, so the FaithSpark app is a discipleship tool for youth workers to stay safely connected with their youth throughout the week. So outside of those in-person ministry times. And we specifically stand out in a world of many social media or messaging or communication apps as being safeguarded um, specifically for youth workers and ministries.
I love that. And it's something that a lot of, for example, camps have been getting more and more invested in, I think, about, talking about this before the week of camp starts and like, how can we make sure that these campers are safe because they are a more vulnerable population, even though we are a Christian ministry. I love that these conversations are being had and that Faith Spark exists. So great. Tell us about Faith Spark's new resource library and who it's for.
Yeah. So we just recently launched the resource library. It is a collection of over 200 right now resources, primarily videos and leader guides that we've curated for youth workers. Because I know youth workers don't exactly have the most time, not the most resources. They're not famous for that. So we wanted to make it as easy as possible to get them the best resources all in one place. So they're already on the app chatting with their group, but now they have immediate access to these really great high quality videos and, like I said, leader guides and conversation starters that they can share with their leaders and keep the conversation going during the week.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Why do you do this work?
Oh man, that's a great question. I love this work. I have a background primarily in youth ministry. It's what I went to school for. That's what I spent all of my time doing. Anytime I had free days, even through high school, I was at church 3 or 4 times a week doing youth ministry. Um, yeah, but I also did camp. So then when this app first when I first heard about it, it was primarily being used just in a camp setting. And it was making it possible for counselors to be able to keep conversations with campers going year round. And that was something that just blew my mind because I can think of specific people when I was a camp counselor that I so wish I could keep talking to outside of the camp setting, who I knew were going back to a house that didn't have any sort of belief in Christ. And we just had to hope that God was going to bring someone along to continue watering that seed that we were planting. And this was an opportunity to not just have to worry about that anymore. We could just say, okay, we started the relationship. We get to continue the relationship. And when I came on to this project, we were seeing counselors having conversations from summer to the next summer when kids were coming back to camp and continuing that relationship. That's just not something we were able to do before. So, me having a background in youth ministry, I also immediately thought, man, why are we not? How is this not in every youth ministry right now? How is this like this such an obvious, like, great tool for that? I so wish that I had this when I was more involved with my ministry. Um, so that was really where we took it next. Was okay, we have this kind of established space in camps, but now let's see if it's actually a felt need in youth ministries. And now over 70% of ministries using FaithSpark are youth ministries, and it's growing pretty well this year. So clearly we're meeting some kind of felt need. Clearly it's being it's useful to some youth workers. So yeah.
That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing your heart with that. If anybody listening wants to take huge advantage of this amazing app, how can they do that?
Yeah, so FaithSpark is completely donor funded, so it's fully free to use. We give it away as just a great tool that we think you should be using. So you can learn more about it at faithsparkapp.com, or you can just download the app right away out of your Play Store or App Store and just get started.
That's wonderful. Is there anything else that you wanted to share today, Josh?
I don't think so. I think that like that is I really
I think
we
we
just
covered it.
we want youth workers to be as equipped as possible. We want you to feel confident in your communication, and that's really what we're trying to help you do. So yeah.
Lovely. Well, we appreciate what you do, and we're going to let our listeners know. Thank you for taking the time today.
Thanks so much.